When it comes to the mind stores things in different ways. Emotions are stored in a specific way, visuals are stored another way. In general, things are categorized in the mind through visuals. And sounds are associated with those visuals. That's how you learn what to call an apple. Because you saw the visual, that means the fruit, and you heard apple all the time. So your brain developed an image with the sound apple attached to it. So every time you saw it, your mind says an apple. But our mind isn't a physical thing. Our mind is a spirit thing with a physical storage that's called the brain. But you are not the physical storage called the brain. But the brain is a tool because you have a body that enables you to operate in the earth realm. So it's good to know how the brain works and all of that, but just remember that the mind is not physical. And knowing that, there's another type of memory that people often forget. That's energetic memory. In the world, they talk about emotional memory, and emotional memory is similar to energetic memory, but it's different. An emotional memory is a feeling that's stored in the body associated with an event that happened in the past. For example, you were a 4-year-old and you asked for a cookie and your father went crazy. You felt quite shocked, and this shock of fright was stored in your body. So later in life, you may develop heart disease, cancer, or whatever, because there's still a fright that's left in your body. So it's a physical tension that was left behind, and now that physical tension is afflicting you. So what needs to happen is, you need to remember what happened and process it and feel the fright that you felt as a little kid completely, and then it's dissolved. That's emotional memory. I'm going to talk about psychic memory or energetic memory in this video. You can call it psychic, you can call it energetic. I'm going to use energetic memory because the word psychic tends to be associated with the paranormal. But okay, what is an energetic memory? An energetic memory, just like an emotional memory, is when something happened that was so threatening to you that your body didn't even sense how serious the situation was. Sometimes it happens that you go into a freeze mode, that your body doesn't pick up how bad the situation is. And because your body doesn't pick it up, no emotional memory is formed in the body. But here's the thing, there is an energetic memory that's generated due to the attack on your energy field. For example, let's go back to the example I just gave on to you. Let's say that this is a very extreme example, that you were 4 years old and you asked for a cookie, and your father or mother, whoever the parent figure was, they hit you in the face. Way too hard. You survived it. Now, you had a blackout as a child at that moment. You don't even remember afterwards what happened, so no emotional memory is formed. But there is an attack on your energy field. And this attack is an energetic wound that now begins to attract perpetrators and predators in your life. That's why you have people out there, wherever they are, they encounter others that want to exploit them. They always have people that want to exploit them. They always encounter bad people that want to drain the life out of them. And then they begin to ask, why is it that I always attract bad people that want to exploit me? Now, if you go to a psychologist, they would say, well, there may be some childhood trauma, this and that, which is a fact, but it's not the truth. The truth is, it's not the childhood trauma, because you can't even remember what happened, but it's the wound that is caused in your energy field that has not recovered, and this wound is now serving as a additional weak points in you as a spirit being, and predators sense this extra weak points, and now they feel comfortable being around you because they feel in their intuition that they can get a hold of you. And demons love it when you have energetic wounds that you're not aware of, because most energetic wounds you don't realize you have them, so now they can use those wounds to have a hold on you and to fulfill their agenda through you. So, about energetic memory, it doesn't matter if you don't remember the incident, or maybe you do remember something about the incident, but it doesn't really matter whether you remember it completely or you don't. Your inner radar is going to give off a warning signal to you that something is off. Now, in this case, it's something internal that's off, because you are wounded, and this wound attracts violence to you that causes you to become a beloved prey of predators. So your inner radar gives off that something is wrong, but you just can't see what it is that's wrong. And when you make up your mind that you want to know what's going on, suddenly you feel threatened, suddenly you feel endangered. And you think, what's going on? Why do I feel this way? And little by little, the energy field will bring back the incident. Because the energy field also records what's going on around you. So when the energy field begins to reflect back what happens, you'll be shocked. You'll be thinking, did mom really said that? Or did the teacher really meant that? Or it can be years afterwards that you begin to remember things. And here's the thing, you can't forget about it. You may think, oh, it's happened 20 years ago, I'm still alive, things are going well today, but you keep remembering what happened back then. Why? Because your radar is showing you how seriously wrong and seriously dangerous it was. And when your energetic memory reveals something like this to you, do not suppress it or ignore it. Pay attention to it. And here's where many people go wrong. When they have memories that they just can't forget, or they can't just put away, are going to feel victimized by the fact that they can't forget something. And when they feel victimized that they can't forget something, now they want relief from feeling victimized. And that's how they end up using medicine or drugs, or they become addicted to romantic partners or whatever. Don't. When your energetic memory brings something back to you, look at it, face it, pray about it, write it down, reflect on it. Because when you do that, you begin to heal. Because an energetic wound affects your brain, it affects your body, it affects everything about you. An energetic wound goes far deeper than any physical wound ever could. And because it's an energetic wound, you don't immediately see scars on your body. If you would be able to see scars on your body, you would realize, okay, something is off. You would go to the hospital or to a doctor. But because it's an energetic wound, the wound will ruin your body over time. And that is what happens to a lot of people. Suddenly, they hear that they have cancer, and the cancer is spreading all over the body. Or suddenly they hear that they have some allergies. Or suddenly they hear that they're turning blind. Or suddenly they hear that they have, I don't know, some type of tumor somewhere. You have sudden diseases in the body appearing out of the blue. Just like that. But here's the thing. It appears as if it appears out of the blue, but it did not appear out of the blue. That bodily defect or sickness that popped up in your experience out of nowhere, the tension, that means the weight of that psychic wound was there all along. You just did not feel that weight for what it was. So over time, you got used to carry this weight without realizing it's a weight that you're carrying with you. So your body adapted to the weight. You never even noticed it was a weight. But just because you didn't notice it was a weight doesn't mean it's not a weight. And the weight began to put an unnatural pressure on your body, and that unnatural pressure caused that bodily sickness that popped up out of nowhere. Some people get migraines out of nowhere, or they get depression out of nowhere. But it's not really out of nowhere. It's a energetic wound that was not healed. Why? Because the energetic memory was not taken into consideration. Now, a lot of people don't have proper knowledge about these things, so they don't know any better. So they end up sabotaging their own health in the long term without them even being aware of it. Now, I'm revealing to you these things so that you can take your advantage of what I'm teaching you. Never ignore your energetic memory. As I mentioned before, the body does not lie. If someone stabbed you with a knife, it could have happened so many years ago. If you die, when your body dies one day, and the medical examiner is going to examine the body, they can see, here I can see the liver, but there is a wound on this liver. The individual stabbed once. Even if it happened 40 or 50 years before the body passed away, the body does not lie. The same is with energy fields. Energy does not lie. So your energetic memory shows you openly what's going on. You may not know what's going on because it's repressed in your mind. Or maybe you do remember what happens, but the implication of what it meant is too overwhelming for you. So you're numb. You've become numb in that area. But just because you became numb in that area, that you don't feel how bad or how intense it was, doesn't mean that intensity is not there. What I'm saying is, do not fight a symptom while the root is prosperous. Uproot whatever it is completely, and sooner or later the symptoms will disappear. And that implies that some of you need to face some facts about your so-called relatives or the people you grew up with. Some of you need to face some facts about the society you live in that you really don't want to face. And here's where it goes wrong with many people. The moment they pay attention to their energetic memory and they come to the conclusion that some of the people around them really don't love them, that some of the people around them are just bad people that are pretending to be good, and that there are people around that intended to harm them for the long run just to be relieved, the moment this ugliness is revealed what it is, many people just run away. They don't want to think about it. They're going to take some extra drinks, or they're going to play some extra video games. They just don't want to see this. And I'm telling you, don't do that to yourself. When your energetic memory keeps bringing back a situation in your mind, that means that something is not resolved. And that thing that is not resolved will be an open door to Satan and to human predators in the future if you don't resolve it. Now, you may need extra help from other believers in prayers and all of that to process things. So be it, but at least face it and recognize it. It can be, for example, that you remember some comments someone made years ago. You were sharing your dreams about becoming this well-known artist, and they kind of said something like, so you think just because you're becoming an artist that people can't put you in your place anymore? At the time you heard it, and it was so off, it didn't fit the conversation that you just ignored it. And by you ignoring it, you de-escalated the situation. But now, your energetic memory brings back this incident over and over again. And mentally, you can't place what the individual said. And then you realize that the individual was really a bitter and envious creep that intended to harm you just to prevent you from reaching your potential. But the individual claimed to be a friend or a relative, or they were classmates. And the grief and the filth and the horror of what was going on now gets through to you. And now you experience the horror for what it is. And when this happens, you're processing it, and by processing it, the wound is healed. Some of you still carry wounds with you. You just don't know that you're carrying wounds because the wounds are not visible. Just because there are no physical scars doesn't mean you're not wounded. And look, there are people that make mistakes or they acted in bad ways that cannot be excused, and they've changed. They're not the same dangerous, negative-minded people anymore. If that's the case, not only can you forgive them, but you can close the chapter. You can put it aside because they're not dangerous anymore. But a lot of people do not change for the better. A lot of people just want excuses so they don't have to face themselves. And such people, they will seek to blackmail you just so that they don't have to face consequences. That's why your energetic memory is so important. I'm telling you, believers, pay attention to your energetic memory. You don't have it for nothing. Now, the energetic memory can also reveal or push good things to your mind. That also. But I'm talking about the bad stuff here because the bad stuff are the things people often push away. Don't push it away. If you have a physical mailbox, you receive physical mail, and every day you receive a package in your mailbox, you keep sending it back to the post office saying, I don't want it, but you keep getting it back over and over again. One day you're going to think, you know what, why do I keep getting this package back? Let me just open to see what it is. Or if you have an email and every day you get a message from an email address, eventually you put it in spam, but it keeps popping up in your inbox instead of your spam. One day you think, you know what, let me check who this individual is who's sending me these things. That's natural, right? That you go after to find out what's going on. But when it comes to energetic memories, people often, they want to push it away really fast. I'm telling you, don't do that. Pay attention to your energetic memory. Be at peace.